back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to talk about the new Mortal Kombat movie and my wish list. Now, the thing about this wish list real quick for action figures, I really want to do this because I love Mortal Kombat. And I've been playing it hard. Like, I've been really diving into Mortal Kombat as of late on my personal time. And I just love the franchise. I grew up playing the franchise. So the fact when they announced that a new movie was coming, I was like, yo, first of all, I had to talk about it. And secondly, I'm just happy that they finally brought it back. The original movies are called classics. People love them. People hate them. I was one of the few that loved them, but I understand those movies were not that good. Certain characters in there, like the Shang Tsung, was to me one of the best. But other characters, but it's Mortal Kombat at the end of the day. And like I said, I grew up playing Mortal Kombat from the original one to now. I played every single one of them, even the bad ones. And there's very little of that, but yeah, so I had to talk about it, and then of course I'm going to get my wish list. Now, when it comes down to the wish list, I've decided to combine two companies. Of course, McFarlane Toys has the license, and Storm Collectibles have the license as well. So what Storm likes to do is they doing more classic versions of these characters, and McFarlane gives us the new versions. But for the figures I have, which for my wish list, is kind of both. I feel like both companies could do some of these figures that I'm going to mention. And I would definitely love to see them being made. I wish McFarlane dives completely into this line. Now, he does have the newer wave that's supposed to be hitting stores pretty soon, which is the Noob Saibot, Liu Kang, and Shao Kahn. Those figures are supposed to be hitting stores pretty soon, so hopefully we'll get those. But I had to do a wish list, and believe Storm Collectibles just came out with the Mataro, so I'm definitely gonna get my hands on that. Still waiting for it, and they're supposed to come out with MK3 Sub-Zero Unmasked. So I have my pre-order for that as well. So whenever that comes in, we'll review it. So there is that. But then they've been diving more towards newer licenses that they got. So I'm not sure if they're going to keep doing Mortal Kombat. I kind of hope they do, because they're doing some of these figures or characters that most companies like McFarlane, he's not doing. He's, like I said, he's doing more of the new video games, and they're doing more of the classics. So hopefully they continue doing the classics, because we could get characters that companies wouldn't touch. So there is that. But when it comes down to the movie, let's just talk about the movie right quick. So if you guys don't know, Mortal Kombat is supposed to be coming out on HBO Max later this year. Apparently April 16th. Now, I don't know if they're going to hit that release date because of COVID. But hopefully it does, because I just really want to see this movie. I do hope it's good. And it's being directed by Simon McQuaid. Don't really know much about him. He has a couple of movies that are kind of so a little bit worried there, but one of the guys that are producing it is James Wan. James Wan is known for the Aquaman movies, so hopefully it comes out pretty good. Like I said, I'm just worried it's not going to be as good, but I really do hope it's good. Now, the cast is pretty interesting. I believe this has a real good cast, bunch of underrated actors on there. Now, there's a couple people on here that is really interesting now, because we know little to nothing about this movie at all, besides screenshots and the articles that has been coming out. So there's no trailer, there's barely any teasers beside the logo teaser. There's nothing. So I'm going by what off of DB says. So there is that. So Jessica McName, I believe I'm saying that right or wrong. I'm not really sure. Sonya is playing Sonya Blade. We know that's a fact for a given because this movie is focusing more towards the tournament side, which pretty much tells me if they're gonna do tournament, Shang Tsung is gotta be in the movie as well as Raiden because you can't do the tournament without either or. So those two are in the movie. Of course, Scorpion, who's played by Hiroki Sanada. He's definitely one of my favorite actors. When every time he pops up in a movie, when I don't know who's the cast in the movie, I'm always shocked to see him. I love his character. I love him as an actor as well. I remember first time I seen him was in The Last Samurai, and I loved him ever since, man. He's a badass character. So him being Scorpion, Hanzo Hashashi, to me it's perfect. To me it's perfect role for him. Now the one big surprising, so there's an article that mentions that the opening scene is them telling the story what happens with Bihan. If you guys don't know Bihan is Sub-Zero older brother. Bihan is technically Noob Saibot. Now, if you guys don't know anything about Bihan gets killed, and he takes soul forms. So it's kind of hard to explain if you don't know the history behind Noob Saibot. But he comes back as Noob Saibot. As like I said, he's just all black, disfigured. I mean, he's a badass character. Now, I don't know if they're gonna stay with him as the Sub-Zero. Don't know how long that's gonna take, or what type of idea they're gonna run with him. Because this is kind of like, of course, it's the tournament, but it's not gonna stay with the game. Is gonna be their own story of their own story of the tournament. So don't know if they're gonna keep that Bihan as Sub-Zero, or eventually when they kill him off, because that's how lore is, they kill off Bihan. He comes back as Noob Saibot. I'm hoping for the later because I want to see Noob Saibot. As much I would love to see Bihan as Sub-Zero, I feel like they really need Noob Saibot. So like I said, I mean that could be for future movies down the road. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. And then a guy I would not try to pronounce his name is playing Raiden. So like I said, we know for a fact Raiden's in the movie. Kano as well. So there's this article that is out right now saying Kano might be the good guy. Now, my thoughts about that is I definitely understand, but I definitely see a turn happening because it's Kano. There's no way you can have Kano as a good guy. So I could see him working with with Sonya Blade as Jax because they're both in the movie as well. So I could see them working with him at first, and then the ultimate betrayal happens eventually when he basically get bought because he's a mercenary, and definitely would love to see that as well. Because to me, Kano's one of my favorite. You know, he's just disrespectful. I don't know how they're gonna have him in the movie, but I kind of hope that he is like one of those guys. Like, if he's gonna be working with them, at least have his personality there, because that's gonna be real interesting to have him in the movie. So, like I said, Jax. Now, the guy Michael Brooks, I do know him. He is from Supergirl on the CW show. Don't love that show, by the way. I mean, it's one of the worst shows on CW. But that's a whole other story for a whole other day. But his character is actually pretty good. One of the few characters that I like on the show. So him being Jax, I kind of like it. You know, he's pretty big on the show as well. So I really like him as that. Okay, so Shang Tsung is in the movie. We know that for sure. Him being in the movie. Now there's the most interesting, not the most interesting, but interesting character is Cole Young. Now we have no idea who this Cole Young guy is. from this article I'm reading, he's a newer character. So pretty much don't know much about him. So it's gonna be interesting to find out what he does, who he messes around with, and ultimately who he becomes, or he's just a new character and they're trying to introduce him into the lore, I guess, because it's really interesting. Now I don't know if he is made by NetherRealm themselves or just from the movie company from Warner Brothers. Now that's gonna be weird to find out because I hope he's made by NetherRealm, because NetherRealm, if you guys don't know NetherRealm is the owners of the creators of Mortal Kombat. Of course, they are basically run by Warner Brothers. So it's gonna be interesting to find out who this Cole Young guy is, because he is the new character and I don't really know much about him. Mileena is said to be in the movie. I just hope they nail her. She better be badass. If you guys don't know Mileena, Mileena is she's a badass character as well. She is the daughter of Shao Kahn. So definitely love to see Mileena as well. And then there is this lady named Mel Johnson. Now, if you go onto the IMDb page, her character is blank, so we have no idea who she's playing. I'm thinking Katana probably, because she is one of the few people left off of the tournament. You know, because if these are the main people, the main characters in the tournament, she has to be Katana, because they have Liu Kang and they have Kung Lao. So if you have those guys, you gotta have Katana. And then, so like I said, Cabal's in. Oh no, then there's Cabal, which is really interesting. They put Cabal in the movie, because in the Black Dragon. So really gonna find out what's gonna happen with that. Hopefully, there's more members of the Black Dragon. And then a character named Emily Young. I don't really know much about her, so she might be Cole Young's sister. So don't know what's gonna happen with that. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much I can say about that. So it's gonna be interesting to find out who these young family members are. And then, last but not least, for this cast right now is Natara. Now, Natara is pretty interesting of a character for them to put into the show. She is definitely not one of the most well-known characters in Mortal Kombat. She was from Deadly Alliance, one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games. You know, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they put Outworld. I mean, she is technically, she's technically more with the reptilian characters in Mortal Kombat. So interesting to see if they have Reptile in there as well as Charmeleon. I highly doubt both of those. I really want Reptile, but I want to see her role, what type of role she has, as well as she works with Cyrex. So if Cyrex, I want the ninjas to be in the movie. So hopefully they are. Really don't know much about her character, what she gonna do in the movie. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the characters. Now I would go over the article because the article does a good job of explaining what happens, but what happens in the movie. But I don't like to go over spoilers. Now the article contains a lot of spoilers, so that's how I found out about the opening scene with Bihan. As soon as I read that, I stopped reading the article. But if you guys want to check out the article, I'll leave it down in the description down below, and you guys can check it out for yourself. But that is pretty much it when it comes down to the Mortal Kombat movie. And actually, in the article right here, it says that Cole Young is supposed to be Kuai Lang. So, like I said, Kuai Lang is supposed to be like this Sub-Zero. So I wonder if they're gonna stay with that. So, with like I said, they're gonna instantly kill off Bihan and then have Cole Young take over the mantle as Sub-Zero. Like I said, don't know how this is all gonna happen, but it's gonna be real good to find out. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the movie, and now let's get straight into my top 10 list. Okay, guys, so starting with my 10. Oh no, I keep doing this. I should really mention my honorable mentions first before I start going down my top 10 list. Now, my honorable mentions, I feel like every single one of them should have made the list, but I was thinking about it. I was being more reasonable and just characters that I thought for sure would get made. If they are gonna make those, so that was my thinking behind some of these. Now, I'm gonna start with my honorable mentions. The first one is Shinnok. Now, Shinnok would be a badass character, action figure to get. You know, he is an elder god. But I really can't see McFarlane or Storm Collectibles doing a Shinnok. I just think that, you know, he's not really well known. Most of the elder gods aren't really well known for, and people probably would skip out on Shinnok. But me personally, I would eat it all up. I love Shinnok. My second honorable mention is Draman. I really would love Draman. He don't get much love in the video games like he used to back in the days. He's just a badass design. His character, I really always loved Draman. I kind of wish in the future video games they'll bring him back. And most of those older characters, I would love to see them revised and you know, shown more light, because you know there are new fans coming into the series and really don't know much about the older characters. So definitely would like to see him, but I highly doubt they'll make this. I think Storm has a possibly better chance of making Draman than McFarlane will, but that's completely different. Frost. Now, I really wanted Frost to make this list because Frost is so badass. She is basically Sub-Zero's student turned bad. You know, she's a badass character as well. She could take off her head, throw it at people. You know, I'm speaking of the MK11 Frost. You know, she could turn her arms into icicles. She could shift her whole body around. She's pretty much a cyborg. Badass. I really love Frost. And I would love an action figure of her. I could see McFarlane messing around with her, as well as Storm Collectibles. I could see them doing the accessories to go around with her, but I feel like they would not do her, not right now, because there are definitely other figures that could be made before her. But definitely like to see Frost one day. Another honorable mentions, and I got two more, guys, would be Cabal. So like I said, Cabal's in the movie. He has a more chance of making the list of action figure being made. Cabal was always badass. Always loved Cabal, especially from the older games as well. You know, he has speed. He has these hook blades. So badass. Of course, he's in the Black Dragon, as well as one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters in Movado. So he's with Movado. And man, I just would love to see a Cabal. Don't know if that would happen, but that would be pretty awesome. One that should have made the list is Kotal Khan. Kotal Khan, just a badass character. Of course, like I said, he's a Khan. You know, he's badass himself. He has all these crazy looks as well. I could see Storm messing around with him as well, because he has these like crazy attire in MK11, and the gear that they have in that game for him is definitely one of the best. He has some of the best fatalities and brutalities in the game, and I just love his setup, man. He's just badass as well, and he could go up against Shao Kahn, so pretty badass as well. And the last but not least from honorable mentions is Triborg. Now we already have all of the ninjas. You know, we have Rain, we have Smoke, Cyrax, Sector, We already have those. The one thing we don't have is well, except for Rain, all of those guys combined. Now, that's what we need. We just need all of them combined. He basically the character in MK10. He is one of the strongest characters in MK10. When you do his X-ray MK10, if you're fighting the AI, even if the AI has half health, he could do a brutality instantly. He was just so badass. Like I said, there's 3 cyborgs in 1, and you can't beat that. Come on, you can't beat that, man. It's so badass. And yeah, so there are my honorable mentions. So now with number 10. My number 10 has to be Jax. Now, I definitely see Storms doing the Jax. The only reason why I see that happening is because they made the Mataro. Now, for me personally, especially if you want to do the movie scene, you could have Jax. Of course, Jax doesn't always like go against Mataro, but Jax is one of those main characters that don't have a figure, and it will be definitely about time. Now, I would prefer to have Storms do it over McFarlane, because I just want to see like all the accessories that comes with Jax, because I can see them doing different arms and just being crazy with it, shotguns and all that. And McFarlane is gonna do just the normal, possibly just. I mean, he could do arms as well, but just one shotgun. I can see Storm messing around with him. So there is that. Number 9 has to be Kano. I feel like we need a Kano figure. Just if we can mess around with it, I can put him in the ball, have him fighting people. Him doing laser shots, whether it's McFarlane or Star Collectibles. Both of those companies would do a great job with Kano, so I would definitely love to see that. My number 8 has to be Reptile. Now, Storm has a Reptile, which is one of the most rarest figure for Storm's collectible. He runs at approximately 300 or more on the market. Now, I personally not gonna pay that much money for a figure. If I'm gonna put 300, it's gonna be towards a hot toy or something. But I would definitely love to see them do a restock. I know if they restock it, they'll pretty much kill the market with Reptile. But I just want a Reptile figure, so I would prefer, if we don't get one from Storm, McFarlane could do a Reptile, and it kind of fits the way he's doing figures right now, especially with DC Multiverse, and I feel like he will nail that Reptile. So there is that. Number 7 has to be Kung Lao. We definitely need Kung Lao. I could see McFarlane doing that because, he has the Liu Kang. You can't have Liu Kang without his brother, the Shaolin monks, Kung Lao. So there is that. And plus, Kung Lao, his hat has blades on it. Come on, man. What character has a hat blade? Seriously. And then number 6 has to be one of my favorite characters. Now, you're probably wondering, why is your favorite character number 6? Well, because I have 5 more badass characters. But my personal favorite is Quan Chi. Now, if you guys don't know who Quan Chi is, you guys definitely need to stop this video, go watch some videos to see who Quan Chi is. Quan Chi is badass, he is blind, so he wears he's kind of like a Daredevil type character. He has this headband that pretty much goes over his eyes, so he's blind, but he has telekinetic pushes and forces. He is so badass, and he uses a sword. I mean, come on, it's Quan Chi, man. I mean, just crazy, man. I would love to see Quan Chi. Hopefully, one of those companies do him. He probably is the least to get made out of all these characters because, like I said, not too many people know who Quan Chi is. But I really wanted Quan Chi, man. Quan Chi would be absolutely crazy. Like I said, Quan Chi is one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters, and just would love to see him. Number 5 is Nightwolf. Nightwolf will be absolutely crazy. I would love to see Nightwolf. He has some skins on there, just makes him looks badass. Like the wolf skins over his head. You know, he has the 2 tomahawks. I mean, he would be a badass figure to have in anybody collection. And he's a badass character in the game as well. You know, if you guys don't know Nightwolf, he's a Native American type character. And he has this thing called the Motoka. So the Motoka is, okay, how would I explain the Motoka? I'm not going to explain everything about the Motoka, but it helps him fight. And he's the one character that kills Sindel. That's all you got to know about Nightwolf. If you don't know nothing about him, he kills Sindel. I mean, seriously. And then number 4 is one of my favorites as well. Not one of my favorites is Ermac. Ermac, I'm surprised he was not in MK11, but I would love to see his figure. Storm, if you're listening, which I know you're not, please make an Ermac, man. I really, really want an Ermac. It fits their style as well. It fits McFarlane's style as well. But please nail that Ermac, man. It's gonna be so crazy, especially with like how they make figures, you know, with him kind of like levitating. Oh my god, it would be so badass to see an Ermac, man. Ermac is a classic character as well. One of the most brutal characters in Mortal Kombat, man. I mean, he's just so badass. Number 3. So my top 3 figures I'd like to see made. Okay, here it goes, guys. Number 3 is Quan Chi. I definitely want to see a Quan Chi figure. We had some before. I believe Mezco might have made one. But we haven't seen an updated one in a while. And I would definitely love to see Quan Chi. Quan Chi is one of the most strongest sorcerers in Mortal Kombat. Of course, you can't have Shang Tsung without Quan Chi. So definitely love to see Quan Chi. Of course, you guys don't know Quan Chi. Quan Chi tricks. I think he tricks Sub-Zero into killing. Into tricking him into the Lin Kuei into killing Scorpion's clan, which they end up killing the mother and his daughter, I believe. So yeah, so he's a messed up character as it is. Definitely love to see Quan Chi. Number 2 has to be Mileena. I mean, how can you not have action figures, Mortal Kombat figures without Mileena of all characters? Definitely like to see Mileena. She has a huge following, some for the bad, because, you know, a lot of these characters, especially with her character being, when them trying to bring her back into MK11, you know, some executives and producers were getting threatened by a lot of people. They were getting death threats if they didn't put her into the game, which is really unfortunate. But well, y'all can sit here and admit that her character is so badass. So it was really unfortunate the fact that, you know, her character had to go, not just her character, but the another realm and the employees had to go through all of that. And but we all love Mileena at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure they would too, making that figure. So there is that. And then my number 1 character that I want to see made is Mocap. Joking, guys, it's not Mocap. If you guys don't know anything about that reference, then I feel sorry for you guys. But now, you know what? I'll explain it anyways, because most people probably don't know what I'm talking about. Mocap is one of the worstest characters ever in Mortal Kombat. Mocap has been a meme before there were memes. People hated Mocap when he came out. I just thought it would be funny. But my real number one figure to be made is Shang Tsung. I really want a Shang Tsung figure. please, please, Storm or McFarlane, please make a Shang Tsung figure, please. I would definitely appreciate it. Especially with these Liu Kangs. Oh well, the one Liu Kang that is coming out, we gotta have him go off against, Shang Tsung. And man, definitely need a Shang Tsung, man. Shang Tsung and Quan Chi are my two like real big ones. I really love this whole list. But like I said before, this is my personal list. Your list might be different than mine. If it is different, let me know in the comment section down below which figures do you prefer to have and which characters you would rather have and which ones made my list that will probably be on your list, or if none at all. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because this is my personal list. Your list might be different from mine, and that's totally fine. But just let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, and let me also know what you guys think of the movie. You guys really want to see this movie? You're really high on it. You keep your expectations pretty low. Definitely like to know that as well in the comment section down below. Who you guys would like to see in the movie? I believe like some characters I left off because I would be here talking for days about who would I like to see in the movie. But I'm really hoping the movie gets crazy. Like Ermac is definitely one. Smoke, of course, the Noob Saibot sector. I want to see all the ninjas in there. There is that. But I want to see the fact that they're bringing in, characters that we haven't heard from in years, like Natara. Really, it makes me excited about this movie because, man, I did not expect the character like her to be in this movie. But if she's in this movie, it just tells you the realm of possibilities of what other characters could be in this movie or future movies going forward. And definitely makes me excited to check it out. But guys, that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did enjoy this, please consider hitting the like and the subscribe button. Helps the channel out tremendously. Keeps me motivated to keep doing videos just like this one. Yeah, just stay tuned. Always stay tuned for the next toy review. That's it. See you guys later.